Yo, yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Devlog. Today, I have a few things to do, and it's going to be a very structured episode because I know exactly what I'm going to do going into it, which is rare. Last time was kind of a shit show because I was kind of figuring out as I went. Just a few words about last episode. As you saw, the in-game day is way too long. I wanted to do a full time lapse of the day, but an hour of recording, and I only was about halfway through the day, so that means a full day probably lasts 2 hours, which is obviously, it's kind of too long, right? If you have to play for 2 hours for one day to go by, I mean, the game just doesn't end, and I probably won't have like enough things to do in a day, so I'm going to make it about 10 minutes. I thought I made it 10 minutes, but I guess I just added one or two zeros too much, I guess. I really don't know what happened, but whatever. What matters is that it works. I mean, the calculations just take into account any time, I just have to keep the same calculation, so it's kind of whatever at the end of the day. But that's that for the time. I don't think I'm going to make any more content about the time for now. It's kind of too boring, obviously. Honestly, what I want to talk about is the temperature system. I'm done with the fundamentals of it. And I kind of want to do the way it works. I explained to in details in the last video, but roughly I need to create an area 3D for every single room in the base. So I'm going to do that in the form of a time lapse because it's kind of a tedious task, and I need to capitalize on it in terms of video, honestly. And then I'll make another time lapse where I model the mesh for the heater, because for now it's just a cylinder that a placeholder mesh, which obviously is not here to stay. I'm going to show that to you in an instant, but just laying a few things first. So yeah, I'm going to maybe show to you how it works in the editor by starting putting one temperature area down at normal speed, where I talk about what I'm doing as I do it, and then I'll go into a time lapse. So first of all, let me show it to you in the game. Okay, so this is supposed to be the heater. Obviously, as I said, it's a placeholder mesh. I'm going to design something later in the video, but for now, right, that's so there is one heater. This heater is emitting a 50 degrees Celsius heat, which with the ambient temperature being 0 averages out to 25 degrees Celsius, right? That's how I'm calculating things. I think I'm going to switch a few things up. Maybe when it's inside, maybe the base temperature is not going to be 0, but maybe 3 or 4. It's not going to be very much higher than outside, but the outside is going to be maybe like -20, right? So it's going to be very cold. So, even if it's a bit warmer, less cold, inside it's still very cold. So for now, inside is 0, maybe it's going to be 3 or 4. And with heaters, one heater at 50 degrees, it averages out to a temperature of 25, which is what is displayed in the character status screen. This temperature is not the body temperature of the character. Obviously, the body temperature of the character is a constant. Technically, it's like around 36 degrees Celsius, so it wouldn't be interesting to display it. Maybe I'll actually display it so that you know when you're about to die of heat stroke or freeze to death. Maybe that's kind of a funny thing I can do. Maybe like I was thinking at first of doing a heart rate monitor that we would place somewhere around on the screen, and this heart rate monitor is like, you know, displaying your heart rate obviously, but also like other metrics about you, and like if you have high health it's normal, and the lower you go, kind of like if you ever play Resident Evil, like your health is signalized by heart rate monitor, pretty much like in the hospital. But I would do that, and I would add a temperature curve, a few other things, right, to it. So it's not in the plans for right now, but I'm probably going to do it eventually. But this is at anyways 25 degrees Celsius is the outside, the room that you're in, the temperature of the room that you're in. Let's just say like you're always carrying a thermometer with you. Like obviously it's not very realistic, but I think if you work in Antarctica, you need to know the temperature pretty much at any time. I would think, at least. So yeah, that's how it works. There is not, I haven't placed any other temperature area, so if I go outside, it doesn't change, obviously. So I'm going to work on that. Yeah, just let me just show you in the editor right now how that works. So I'm going to go into the base, the base scene. Also, I was working on creating a heater power grid, so I'm done with that. If you need, if you don't remember how the whole power grid system, I recommend you go watch one of the earlier video that I did on that. But pretty much it works exactly the way the door and light power grid works, except you know you're like, I'm sorry, you're managing the heaters instead of everything else. So that's pretty straightforward, pretty much. So I don't think I need to go over it again, but yeah, I was working on that. So what I created an area here. By the way, if I add another heater here, I'm going to add another heater for the sake of demonstration, but if I add another heater here, and I'm not going to go into the game right away, but I'm going to add another heater for when I go back to the game next. That's also 50 degrees Celsius. 2 heaters, that's 100, plus 0, that's 100 as well, divided by 3. That's an average of 33.3 repeating degrees. So in the game it will display 33.3. I don't think I allowed for any floating point numbers, but whatever, is going to display 33 degrees Celsius. That's a bit hot, honestly, way too hot actually for me. But yeah, that's just for the sake of showing you how the heat is dynamically calculated. One thing I need to do is to, for the areas that are inside, I need to add to the calculations the characters, because obviously when you're in a room with someone, well, you're making heat, you're creating heat, so I need to make that. But for now, I haven't made any character. I haven't made even the basis for the characters, so well, I did, but it's a bit outdated now, whatever. So let me show you how it works. So I created, this is the main hub. I'm going to go to the secondary hub, which is here. I'm going to instantiate a child scene. It's called a temperature area. So as you can see, it's just an area 3D, to which I will add a collision shape 3D, like so. To that collision shape 3D, I had a box shape, or any shape really, but for these box shapes works well enough, I'm going to make it the shape of the room roughly. It doesn't need to be very precise, to be honest. I'm still kind of, I don't know if I'm going to make one of those area for every single hallway yet. Maybe the hallways are going to be the same temperature as the room next door. I need to make sure I don't make it overlap with the control room. That would be, and that would be good. So I need to make it a bit lower, I think. No, it's good. Okay. So this is the area. I can set the temperature, the base temperature here. I mean, 0 is good. I will need to assign hitbox here. Where is it? Actually, I don't need to. I'm stupid. This is a remnant of a former design. I need to remove this. Whatever. I just need to set the base temperature to 0. Let me add a heater. Oops. It's I need to add it to this. Am I in the secondary hub? Yes. Instantiate heater. I'm going to make different heaters later, but for now just one simple heater. Don't need to be too complicated. Here it is. And I'm going to go test it in game. It should work, but you know, just making sure. So the idea here is that in the main hub it's going to be 33, just as a way for me to demonstrate that it is dynamically programmed. Then I'm going to go to the secondary hub and it should switch to 25 degrees Celsius. If it does, I will go into a time lapse to where I just make everything. Okay, it is. Oh, sorry, the game is not showing. Let me just show you the game. Here you go. It is 33. There are 2 heaters and it's 33. If I turn this one off, it doesn't change. Oh, that's annoying. I don't know why it doesn't do it. Whatever. Honestly, I don't think I programmed the turning on and or off of the heaters properly. Yeah. I only made it so they are disabled when they are not powered, but I haven't made it so they're disabled. Let me just fix that real quick. It should be an easy fix. I just need to multiply the temperature by the boolean, the int value of the boolean on, if it's on or off. So if it's on, the boolean would be 1, and if it's off, the boolean will be 0, which is multiplies it by 0, which makes it 0, right? Okay, so it's 0 degrees. That's not good. Hang on. Yeah, I set it so they're unpowered by default. That's unfortunate. It still doesn't work. Let me just remove that. Okay, that's something I need to fix later. For now, that's a problem for future me. Okay, whatever. Let's see if it works in the room next door. No. Okay. This is really not good. Hang on. Let me just go back into the game. Maybe magically it works now. I just want to see if the room next door works, to be honest. Which... Okay. Okay, 33. Yeah, let's go. Oh, that's not the way. This is the way. And it's 25. Okay, it works. So, I'm going to be back in a few seconds. Well, for you it's going to be a few seconds. For me, like, God knows how long it will take me. But I'll see you when I'm done fixing the powering on and off of the all like heaters. And when I'm done, I'll go into time lapse where I put every single temperature zone and area in. Okay, so I did a few things, I did a little tinkering, and it should work now. Let me just load the game. So all the heaters start off. I should probably make it so they start on, or that's whatever, but they start off. So if I turn this one on, I press E, it turns it on. I should make it so it gives feedback, as going to be in the mesh for now. Obviously I haven't created the mesh, but it should be 25. It's 16, whatever, what the fuck. Ooh, that's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, I know why it doesn't work. It uses... Yeah, okay. So the way it works, as I said earlier, these areas' temperature is the average of every single temperature here. The basic temperature is 0, and it adds 25, and it adds another 0, although the heater that it turns off is not producing heat, but taking heat, and is actively generating 0 degrees Celsius. And that's not how that works in real life. Obviously, when your heater is turned off, it's not taking heat, obviously. Well, it kind of is, but not like that. It doesn't work like that. So it's not generating heat, but it's not generating cold either. It's taking heat. Yeah, that's an issue. I need to make it so that if it's not powered, it's not taken into the calculation for the temperature. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then it should work perfectly. Alright, so I fixed it, and it works now. So as you see, if I turn it on, it's 25. If I turn it off, it's 0. And if I turn both on, it's 33. So that works perfectly. Let's see if it works in the other room. When I walk in, it should be 0. It is. When I turn it on, it should be 25. It is. Okay, it works. Now to make it create every single area, and then I will jump straight away into Blender modeling time lapse. So yeah, I'll see you at the end of the video when I make kind of when I ramble for 5 minutes basically, as usual. So see ya. Hey, so you probably just saw me struggling to make something nice in Blender, but I did it. I succeeded in what I wanted to do, and I'm quite happy with the result. I'm in the game right now, and I'm just going to show you how it looks in the game. I added a few details in Godot to make it interactable. A few things that I don't know to do with Blender that I added with Godot later. So let me show you what it looks like in Godot. So first of all, this is what it looks like when it's turned off. It's very important to say that it's turned off. So as you can see, earlier in the video I said that I was quite unhappy with how unresponsive it felt to turn it on and off. So that's why I added this little diode here, which is red when it's turned off and it's green when it's turned on. So I want to go over the model. So as you can see, this is the base, and this big pillar in the middle is the resistance that's heating up with Joule's effect, right? Where basically like you run the current and the heat that's emitted through the resistance is equal roughly to the voltage, and well, the heat that's emitted is equal to the voltage times something, I forget, whatever, to the resistance. Anyways, so this is just a big resistance that's emitting heat. I don't know if it's really realistic. I don't really care, honestly. I think it looks dope. But yeah, so let's go over the design. So this is like the electronical components at the base. You have a little vent so it doesn't overheat in the parts that's not supposed to overheat. You have a few like these like rings around it. I did this because one, it looks cool, I think, and two, it makes sense to protect the resistance from the people who might put their hand on it, because yeah, you don't want people to just like absentmindedly run into it and like get shocked to death or burned to death. So yeah, this is I thought it looked cool to like make a few very close ones, make like a sort of, you know, I don't know what you would call that, but I like the way it looks. It feels a bit. I was kind of hesitant about putting some little like bars that would go up this so that they don't stand magically on their own. But I think, I don't know, I really like the way it looks. I was inspired by the design of the basic, very basic from Oxygen Not Included, the game, the basic design of the what's it called, oxygen generator, right? In these games, I'll put a picture on screen, but basically, like it looks, it doesn't look like this exactly, but it's definitely one of my inspiration for that, especially for the base with like something that's functional at the top. I think it looks quite neat, and I wanted to go for a similar look. So I think I succeeded. Let me turn it on for you. I think it really shines, both literally and metaphorically, when it's turned on. So as you can see, this is red hot from the electric current running through it. Actually, the fact that it doesn't really make sense, to be honest, because obviously because it's just straight, the current would not go through it, because like only one side is connected to the current. But let's just say it's like some sort of, you know, it's not one big resistance, it's a lot of small ones that kind of, you squint out enough and you can see it's just a big blob of light instead of seeing a bunch of resistance wires going up and down. But there is a slight warmth emitting off of it, warm light, which really contrasts well with these very like harsh white lights. I think it looks quite nice. I need to do real quick to try. I don't know if it's going to be, I'm going to keep it like this, but I need to see if it looks better with shadows on. So let me just put the shadows on and see if it looks any better. Oh my god, okay, no, it looks hideous. I expected it to look better, but oof, yeah, it's much nicer like that. Either I fuck something up while making the model, which makes the shadows just interact weirdly, or it just doesn't really work with that shape. Either way, it looks bad, and I really like it like this much better. So yeah, this is like this is going to be the basic design for every heater in this station. Maybe in places that need bigger heaters, there's going to be bigger heaters, but yeah, whatever. Something I wanted to go back on also is, if you paid close attention during the time-lapse of me putting temperature areas in, you probably noticed a few things. First, I completely forgot to do the offices and the labs, which I'm going to do on my own later, now that I realized that I forgot that. But you also probably see that I put different values for the basic temperatures. So I'd like to go over my reasoning as to why I put these temperatures. First of all, I put here minus 20 degrees. The explanation is pretty straightforward, right? It connects directly to the outside, which means it's going to be way less insulated from the cold. Minus 20 might be a little bit too much, I'm not sure, but I like the idea that if you don't gear up properly before going outside, you're not even going to make it past the elevator ride. So I like that idea. You probably also noticed something that I did not make the temperature area go all the way down, but only to the surface level, only until around here. The reasoning for that is that there is some sort of geothermic energy and heat going up from under the ice, which is something that is explained with the law. I'll go over that in a later video, but basically underground is going to be warmer than overground. So that's why, that's why the cold doesn't go that far down. Maybe it will because maybe it still like goes a good way underground before it gets hot. I don't know yet. Another is this room. This room is much colder than the other inside rooms. For a few reasons. It's very, very big, which it would make sense that you need more heaters to heat a very big room. Also, there's this big skylight, which brings in light, but also brings out heat, because the glass is not going to be as insulated as the rest of the walls. Yeah, that's pretty much the only reasons why, actually. This room, the kitchen, is a bit warmer for a few reasons as well. It's smaller than most rooms, and mostly is going to be because it's the kitchen, right? Obviously, the kitchen is going to be a bit warmer. There's all the furnaces and stuff like that are, because it's like a station with a lot of people with different schedules. Pretty much the ovens are going to be running the entire day to keep fresh food available for any of the station inhabitants. Inside the rooms, it's a basic 0 degrees, because it's pretty much the same size as this hub, and is insulated in the same way, which means it only requires one heater to heat properly to a comfortable warmth. As for here, you probably noticed that this room is slightly warmer than the basic room underneath. The reason for that is that heat goes up and cold goes down. So yeah, it's really not noticeable that much, but 5 degrees, compared to 0, that's a bit different. This here is, I think, 5 as well, for the same reasons, and here it's a bit warmer, 15, like in the kitchen, because it's going to be the boiler room area that's going to heat the entire base. As you'll see later, this pipe connects this area to an area that I've not done yet, but that is the real boiler room, heater room, that is underground, for reasons that I will not give out just yet. But basically, this is to heat the station, but it's like kind of a relay between the actual boiler room underground and the above ground station. It's not where most of the heat is produced, but it's definitely where a lot of the heat accumulates before going through the entire station. Okay, so I went over everything that I wanted to go over. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.